Hi and welcome to today's video by Study Unifees. In today's video, we'll be talking about IELTS speaking. The focus of this video will be, firstly, the band descriptors, the criteria examiners use to score your speaking test. Finally, and more importantly, we'll be talking about how you can get the maximum score in speaking. First, let's understand the format of IELTS speaking. The interview, as you know, is a face-to-face interview with an examiner. The examiner is always connected to either IDP or the British Council. The first part of the interview is introduction and interview. Here, you will be asked to produce your ID. The examiner may ask one or two questions about you, like where you are from, and then they will begin the interview. In this part of the interview, you will be asked several questions on topics that are familiar to you. In sum, this part of the interview is all about you. You could be asked about your home, your family, your hobbies, or your studies. The purpose of part 1 is to put you at ease. Part 2 is the individual long term. In this part of the IELTS interview, you will be given a card. The card will have a topic and several cues on it to help you. You will be given 1 minute to prepare. During this 1 minute, you may take notes. After 1 minute, you will have to start speaking and you will have to speak for up to 2 minutes. Then, part 3 is all about the topic in part 2. You will be asked several analytical questions on the topic connected to the topic in part 2. Now, let's talk about the band descriptors. These are the criteria IELTS examiners use to mark your speaking interview. The 4 criteria, as you can see, are fluency and coherence, lexical resource, grammatical range and accuracy, and pronunciation. Fluency is all about speaking at a natural pace. Speaking too fast or too slow is a bad idea in the context of this band descriptor. Speak naturally with a natural speed. Your ideas in each answer and also in your individual long term in part 2 must be organized logically. You must also connect ideas. Each idea should be connected to the previous one. Overall, your discussions must follow a logical and coherent flow. The second band descriptor is lexical resource. Here, the most important thing is clear communication. You must choose your words in such a way that they communicate your ideas clearly. You must also demonstrate that you have a varied and very precise vocabulary. You may use advanced words and also idiomatic language, but be sure to use these correctly. Grammatical range and accuracy is the third band descriptor. Grammatical range means communicating your thought in a variety of structures and sentences. In English, we communicate mostly in phrases and sentences. Sentences like the simple sentence, the compound sentence, the complex sentence, and the compound complex sentences. Make sure that you speak in a harmonious blend of different kinds of sentences. This is grammatical range. Grammatical accuracy means making as few errors as possible when you speak. You will not be penalized for 1 or 2 grammatical errors. However, if there are several grammatical errors, especially if they interfere with the understanding of the examiner, then yes, you will be penalized. Finally, the fourth band descriptor is pronunciation. Whatever you say should be clear and intelligible. That means that the examiner should be able to understand it easily. Make sure that you pronounce all sounds correctly. Also, make sure that your stress and intonation patterns reflect those of native speakers closely. Overall, the examiner must not have to strain while trying to understand what you're saying. Now, let's talk about some tips for getting a really good score. We already know the marking criteria. Make sure that you're good at all 4 things in the IELTS interview. But also, practice regularly with a teacher, a partner, or a friend. Record your responses so that you can listen to them and identify mistakes and areas for improvement. Expand your vocabulary on different topics. Topics that are related to the environment and wildlife, society, governance, the economy are common topics. so make sure your vocabulary encompasses a wide variety of topics. More tips for scoring high in IELTS speaking. Work on your fluency by speaking regularly and on diverse topics. Familiarize yourself with all the different questions that could occur in Part 1, because it is important to give a great first impression. Develop critical thinking skills for Part 3, because remember, you will be asked a lot of very analytical questions at the end of the interview. Thanks for watching this video. For more insightful videos like this, like, share and subscribe. To get your plans for a great IELTS score on track, register at Study Unifees.